Welcome to Truth and Transcendence. You can find all our other episodes on truthandtranscendence.com. And also, if you look in the show notes, you will see a link where if you're looking for a coach, or you think that looking for a coach might be helpful for you, and if you like my energy and can put up with my voice, and you think I might possibly be the one for you, you'll find in there's a little link to a free taster session or a free Q&A. So check that out. Something I've been thinking about lately is this idea of it's okay just to do what you like. Because why? Just because that's what you want to do. Because I've been realizing, in my own life and for other people as well, the degree to which we tend to make decisions based on what we think we're allowed to do or what we think will succeed or what we think is sensible. And yes, all of those discriminating and discerning aspects are very, very important. And at the bottom of it all, we have free will. At least I'm going to say we have free will. Some people argue that we don't, but I'm going to say we have free will. At least we think we have free will. We can just do something just because that's just what we want to do. That's just what we want to do. And we don't have to do something that we don't want to do. I'll give you an example. Over the years, every now and again, I've worked with a marketing coach or I've talked to potential coaches I might work with. And there was a period of time, a phase, when all the marketing coaches were saying to their clients, you could earn a lot of money. All you have to do is follow this particular pattern. And the pattern they were suggesting was to do group coaching, which is a kind of commoditized approach, more commoditized than one-to-one coaching, where you're working with a group of people and each person in the group is paying to be in the group an hourly rate, which if you were working with one person on their own, they would pay the same rate. So basically you're getting paid for 10 hours work for an hour's work with a group of 10 people. And it was fascinating because these people would be saying, yeah, you can do this. You can set this up. Lots of people are doing it. I'm doing it. It really, really works. And I'd say, I don't want to do it. Yes, but don't you realize how much money you could make? Don't you realize what a contribution you could make? Yeah, I don't want to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Yes, but surely, they couldn't understand that I was making a business decision based on what I did or didn't want to do. Because what I wanted to do was either work in groups in person, like for a weekend workshop or whatever it might be, or work with people one-to-one in person or online, either one. But I wanted to do that because that was intrinsic to the nature of the work I wanted to do. So this whole question of, well, what work are you doing? I'm doing the work I want to do rather than the work other people think I should be doing, or rather than the work I think will create most wealth for me, or that most people will approve of, or that most people will want to do. No, I'll do the one I want to do. Now, that's just an example of me, and also a little advert for my coaching, in case you hadn't noticed. But there's many, many other ways of looking at it. For example, this cottage I live in Wales, I bought this cottage because I wanted it. I didn't know anybody up here when I moved up here. A lot of people will not buy a property unless they know a lot of people, they know they're going to find lots of customers up there, etc., etc. I went, no, I want to buy that house. I'm going to buy that house. I'm going to move in. That's what I want to do. Now, this is very, very freeing because it frees us up from doing things for reasons other than wanting to do them. Because doing things for reasons other than wanting to do them creates an energy drain on us. We are naturally wired to seek a balance between following our own heart and following what we want to do and being compassionate and caring to our community. So being passionate and caring to our community is actually something we actually want to do. I had my brother come and live in my house for about a year and a half in between houses. It was not convenient in a number of ways. It was, you know, it was great having him, but also there was some inconvenience around it as well. I wanted to do it, so I did it. So me wanting to do it was a combination, actually, of it was fun for me having him around. I enjoy his company, but also I wanted to give him that. It made me feel good giving him that. It was, what do you call that? A selfish altruism. I wanted to do it, so I did it. When so in our lives, what we're wired to do naturally is find some sort of balance between what we want to do for ourselves and what we want to do for other people. But both of them entail wanting to do it, as opposed to feeling that we should do it, that we are complying with what other people want us to do. It's a qualitative difference in the experience. So if in your life, if you're feeling that you don't have the energy you used to have, and if you're making excuses for that by saying, well, I'm getting older now, my body's not as strong as it was, I don't have as much energy, maybe challenge that in yourself and say, is that really true? Or is it that you are not doing what you really want to do? Is it that you're doing things that you think you ought to do instead, or that other people have pressured you into doing? If you want to buy a motorbike and take a trip over the Alps, why not do it? I had a guest on some while back who had actually sailed one of the major oceans, I forget which ocean it was, with a few people with him in the boat. Now, when he told me about this, I thought, I would not want to do that. So for me, doing that would not be coming from a place of I want to do it. It would become from a place of I should put myself through a character building experience or something like that. So I'm not going to do that. He wanted to do it. He did it because he wanted to do it, not because it would make him famous, not because it would impress other people, not because he thought he had to fix something that was wrong with his personality and character. Not for any of those reasons. He did it because he wanted to do it, and so he did it. Now, he wasn't stupid. He didn't just think, I want to do it, and then go out the following morning and launch off in a boat he just picked up over the weekend from Amazon. He spent months and months training, outfitting the boat, training with the team, physical training, teamwork training, working out protocols and guidelines for what they were going to do, how they were going to manage it if the boat capsized, which it did. It went upside down, and they had to deal with that in the middle of the ocean with no support. There was no helicopter. There were no other boats around. Nobody was there with them, keeping an eye on them. This was, in my opinion, a highly risky thing to do, but they wanted to do it, and they did it, and they made it work. Another example is any Britishers watching and listening may be familiar with Jeremy Clarkson. Now, I don't know Jeremy Clarkson. I know friends of his, and they say he's completely bonkers, but very interesting guy. He's not boring. So his whole kind of persona is that of, right, well, this is a really dangerous, I don't know, snow quad bike that my wife has told me she doesn't want me to do. And the next thing you know, he's tearing across these snow-covered landscapes in this thing which could overturn at any moment and pitch him into a snowdrift. And he does all this stuff because he wants to do it. It's immense fun for him. He loves it. And that's I believe why he does it. He doesn't do all sorts of things he doesn't want to do. So, and of course, I don't know enough about him to say that with authority, but that's the impression that I get. So how much of what you're doing in your life are you doing because you really want to do it, or for other reasons? And how is that affecting your energy? And did you know that it's okay to not do the things you don't want to do? And did you know it's okay to do the things you want to do? By the way, the exception to this, it's arguably an exception. So if you're a young parent, you may find yourself doing things that you don't want to do, or that you feel like you don't want to do, like getting up at 3 a.m., changing the sheets, which I did for my baby sister when I was 6. I actually wanted to do it. I was a strange child. But yes, if you're a young parent, you may find yourself doing things that you think, I don't remember asking to be doing this. This is hard. I'm exhausted all the time. Yeah. But actually, in reality, the truth is, don't you really want to do it? So wanting to do it is not the same thing as liking it necessarily. And it's not the same thing as not ever feeling resentful or upset while you're doing it. It's that baseline of, no, actually, this is what I want to do. I wanted to have a child. I wanted to be with this partner I'm with. We both wanted this child. We have this child. We want to take care of them. We do not want to farm them out to nannies and other people. This is what we want to do. Sometimes it's really hard. And this is what we want to do. And this is what we're doing. Now that builds something inside us. That reinforces us in all kinds of ways. And that pays off in life. This is one of the reasons that mothers can be so formidable, because, and now again, this is not a comment on whether or not you should be a mother or whether you should be a stay-at-home mother or not. It's absolutely not a comment on that. But there is something which can happen if you're somebody who has that very challenging role for years and years on end of looking after children and looking after the home, and perhaps doing it without all that much recognition. It's hard, very challenging. But if that's what you want to do and you're doing it because you want to do it, it has an incredibly strengthening effect on you. And that's one of the reasons that some of these mothers are so formidable. And it's the same in any walk of life. If someone's following what they want to do, you find it with musicians, other artists, you find it with engineers, you find it with authors, you find it with career leaders and managers who are doing it because they want to do it, not because they think they should or because of the money or any of those other reasons. These people become formidable because they are reinforcing who they are by doing what they really want to do. I'm doing this podcast because I want to do it, not for any other reason. And people say, well, how much do you get paid for that? I don't get paid to do it. Why are you doing it? Because I want to do it. I want to do it. And as a result, I've developed and grown as a person significantly over this period of doing this show. I'm happy, I'm fulfilled, I'm growing, I'm learning, and it's an absolutely fascinating experience. And I'm doing it because I want to do it, not for any other reason. So again, in your own life, I invite you to just review. What are the things you're doing that you're not doing because you want to do them? Do you still need to keep doing those? Can you phase those out? And are you doing the things that you really, really want to do? And if not, why not? Maybe you can do them. Sometimes making these sorts of decisions opens life up in quite an extraordinary way. And suddenly the funding you think you didn't have for doing something you really want to do becomes available. Or suddenly the restrictions that you thought were inevitable melt away when that inner decision and choice is made to do what you want to do. And that includes doing what you want for yourself and doing what you want for others, both of which are equally important, in my opinion. And thank you for choosing and wanting to watch and listen to this show and all my other episodes as well. I really appreciate. I'm aware that there are people listening to this show and watching it all over the world. And at first I thought, well, why are they doing it? And I thought, because they want to. And that's the best gift you could give me. Following what you want to do. And if that happens to be watching and listening to my show, I'm deeply grateful. Have a fantastic week. Check out the other episodes on truthandtranscendence.com. And if you are looking for a coach or think you might be looking for a coach, check out the show notes for my free taster or free Q&A session. All the best. Have a great week. Bye for now.